human capital to drive our economy and to drive our progress. How do we do it? Number one, we made a conscious decision this year that we are going to invest more in sharpening that human capital by investing more in education. It is the reason why our budget this year on education went to 630 billion, the highest in the history of Kenya. Because that human capital cannot become what it is unless it is sharpened using training, education, knowledge acquisition. It is the reason why we have hired 56,000 teachers. It is the reason why we have changed our funding model so that we make sure that it delivers much more accurately on the aspirations that we are looking for, on the skills that we are looking for. But we must be intentional about, as we invest in education and training of our human capital, we must be intentional on when they leave school and college and university, we must also be intentional on job creation. And for the first time, that is what we have done. We have been intentional. That is why we have the housing fund, so that we can generate 1 million jobs using our housing plan, number one. Number two, that is why we are intentional about digital jobs. You heard the earlier presentations here. We intend to create another 1 million jobs in the digital space. That is why we are going to be investing in at least an ICT hub in every ward. I want MCAs to listen to me. You must demand where is the ICT hub for your ward. We are working with the members of parliament. We are working with the ministry so that we can have 500, 1,000 young people around our ICT hubs for digital jobs. We have huge opportunities for digital jobs. Number three, and before I go to number three, I have also asked our friends, the county governors, that we also want to tap into the vocational training centers under the county governments. We want the vocational training centers to be also hubs of ICT. We would want to invest in at least an ICT hub in every vocational training center, so that again, we can train more, we can use technology, so that this world-class human capital we have can work for the globe. Number three, we are working on making sure that this world-class labor we can export. And I want to thank many countries that have given us opportunity to export our labor. I have given very clear directions to my dear sister Florence. She knows what she must do for us to at least get 1 million exports of labor from Kenya, 1 million jobs. In our manifesto, we made a commitment that we want to increase our remittance from diaspora from $4 billion to $10 billion. That is 1 trillion shillings. That is going to be an opportunity for us to create jobs. And finally, on matters job creation, we have advertised, I think, the first 14 county aggregation and industrial parks. We have already gazetted, I think, 5 special economic zones. It is one of the conversations we had with the American Chamber of Commerce. You just heard the opportunities. The American market alone is expecting more apparels from Kenya. That is why we are establishing a special economic zone in Busia, in Eldoret here, in Naivasha, in Dongokundu, in Sagana, in Del Monte, down there, and we are looking for additional land so that we can increase the scope of our exports into the globe. We have huge markets waiting for our products out there. Those are areas of job creation. You just heard that with the little intervention we made, there is a new investment in Athi River that will create 20,000 jobs. These are opportunities, and I really want to have a conversation with our county governments so that they too can take up and pick up these opportunities and drive them. I wanted to say this. We must be intentional. We must be deliberate about creating opportunities for Kenyans to work so that we can improve their incomes and we can drive our progress. Number three, partnership. My friends, governors, I'm really asking you to work with the national government. In this national administration, you have a partner and a friend. We have no intention whatsoever to take over any county function. We have no intention, and I want to say on this platform, all we want is to support the county governments for them to achieve their mandate, and we will support you to the extent that you want us to support you. Yeah? Because we do not want to take over any function. We want to help, because the success of every county is the success of Kenya. Because we do not have citizens that belong to the national government. We have only one citizen. Those who elected you are the same who elected the national government. Sindio wangwana? So hapo ndio mimi niko. So issues like UHC, we want to work with you. Community health promoters, we have already agreed on a formula. We will co-fund the 100,000 community health promoters. We are going to equip them as national government. We are going to work together to make sure that delivery of health products, health services is efficient and reaches the last mile, and counties are best placed to do that. We need to work together on markets. As you have seen, markets is run by counties. But as we also know, in my campaign, Mama Mboga was front and center of my campaign. I simply cannot walk away from them. So I have to build these markets. And we intend to build 400 markets across Kenya, maybe 500. We're going to spend about 20 billion in building the markets. The markets will be handed over to the counties. You guys will run the markets the way you want. You will decide who is in those markets. You will discuss with us. And I'm looking for a partnership with you so that if you want to improve on the design, I am ready. If you want to improve some of the funding, I am ready. If you want us to change from here to there, sawa. Lakini soko tujenge, because I saw in the presentation here, the women are saying walikuwa wanalimwa na jua. So nitawasaidia kupanga kuweka shade everywhere na kupanga hiyo kuweka mahali iko stima, mahali iko nini. Let's work together. Let's also work together on matters to do with county aggregation and industrial parks. I must congratulate counties. We have a fantastic working relationship on county aggregation and industrial parks. They will be managed by counties. We will co-fund, and they will run with it in terms of agro-processing, value addition, manufacturing around that space. We need to work together on distribution of fertilizer. I must commend many counties who have worked with us in providing the last mile delivery. As you are aware, we believe that counties have the capacity, working with the national government, to be able to deliver to the last mile. Let us work together on matters mitigating climate change. I'm very happy that today you overshot your target of planting 2 million trees. I am told by the chair you planted 7 million trees. Tuwapige makofi counties jamani. They've done a wonderful job. That's the space. Work together on manufacturing. Work together on mobilization of revenue. You know, even as the national government works hard to keep up to the schedule on paying on time for the shareable revenue, I want to encourage counties to also look at ways of own source of revenue. We are going to assist you so that you can meet your targets and we can do more around on source of revenue. All I am saying is partnership. Let us work together. Finally, we also need to work together in mobilizing resources. As you are aware, we have made the conscious decision that we are not going to run our development, the affairs of our country, by borrowing debt left, right, and center. We are going to raise local resources. We need to work together to build local resources, to raise local revenue. We're going to work hard as national government. We are professionalizing KRA to raise more money. We are digitizing so that we can eliminate areas of pilferage. We are increasing, as I made a commitment to this country, that we are going to be a country that is focused on saving. For a very long time, we ignored the saving component. That is why, as a percentage of GDP, we are among the lowest globally. We are at less than 10%. Other countries are all the way to 50%. So we're going to do more with our NSSF. We are going to do more with savings so that we can save and be able to fund our own development using our savings. I want to encourage counties to work with us in that space. Let me finally have the saying that on source of revenue and doing everything that we are going to do, the fifth thing I want us to talk about, finally, to agree on, is on the subject I already mentioned of corruption. Good people, it is not going to be business as usual. I want to say this with clarity. It is not going to be business as usual. It cannot be the case that we lose revenue, that we cannot deliver public service because a few people decided to go away with public money. It's not going to happen. It's not going to be business as usual. We will do whatever it takes. Whoever it is, whatever office you occupy, whatever friends you have, it will not be business as usual. I want to say that with clarity because I know in here we have very senior officials of both county and national government, so that when whatever happens, happens, let nobody say, I wasn't given notice. Everybody has notice. Those are the 5 things I wanted us to agree on. Let me finally say that on the subject of debt, I have made myself very clear. We are going to do more saving. We are going to raise local revenue. We are going to raise own source of revenue in counties, and we are going to stop corruption so that we have the money to run our show. I said also that we are not going to be importing things left, right, or center. That's why in this year's budget, cement, steel, furniture, fish, we are going to build local capacities for those. We are not going to be importing. And as I have said, it cannot be the case that every other time we think, we are thinking of how to import more. Let me finally say, as I said, we are not going to subsidize consumption. We are going to promote and we are going to invest in production. That's what we are going to do. It cannot be that we are importing edible oil, we are importing all the other food items from rice and everything else, as I said earlier. We have to have a paradigm shift. We need to invest in production. And I am very proud of our farmers. Our farmers, if there are any patriotic people in Kenya, it is our farmers. Just with the reduction of fertilizer from 6,000 something to 2,500, they have done an extra 200,000 acres of crop. If you see in Kenya, everywhere, our farmers are doing a phenomenal job in producing food for us as a country.